Hello everyone, welcome back to Advanced Weekly Update. My name is Brandon and we have Linda with us today. Hi Linda.
Hi Brandon. Hi everyone. It's so great to be with you here today.
And did you guys know Linda is our new senior editor on Advanced?
Yes, I am.
So welcome to the Advanced team, Linda.
Thank you.
And we're especially happy to have Linda here today because we're talking about a music article. Who are we talking about today?
We're talking about Andrea Bocelli. He's an Italian singer, and I really like him because he sings opera, and I love opera.
So, Linda, you were telling me before that you actually worked for an opera company?
I did, yes. Back in the U.S., in my hometown, Miami, I worked for an opera company, or the opera company there.
Did you get to go for free to the performances?
Yes, that was the best part of the job, probably, like being able to go to all these opera performances and to sit really close to the stage, have really good seats for free, because I don't think I could afford those seats like if I wasn't there, because opera tickets are actually really expensive.
They're expensive.
Do you know why?
Why? Yes, tell us why.
Because you have the opera singers, you have like the whole crew that's doing the opera, and then you also have a live orchestra.
A lot of people.
Yes.
To pay.
So yes, you have a lot of people on the salary. But what's great is that you always have live music in opera, not like ballet where you have like music that's a recording. So that's one of the big benefits of opera, but you also, have to pay a little bit more.
Absolutely. Well, Linda, what I love about this story is we get to learn more about Andrea Bocelli's life, right? What's behind the music. And it's really cool to hear some of his answers to this Q&A. And he touches on something I think it's important for all of us. He talks about criticism, right? And how he receives criticism, what he does with that. And before we get any further, I want to bring the poll up for you guys to take to give you a little bit of more time to think about this, because dealing with criticism can be difficult. So how do you normally deal with criticism? In the article, Linda, we see that Andrea Bocelli says he doesn't always listen to people, their criticism, but he wants to hear constructive feedback.
Right.
So what's the difference between like just criticism and constructive feedback?
Well, constructive criticism and constructive feedback, that's the criticism that will benefit you, that you will be able to take things away from and improve. Right. But criticism that's just for the sake of criticism, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you to improve or do better. So when you listen to criticism, you have to, of course, like, be humble about it, even if that person is saying things that you don't agree with, listen, and hear them out, and then you can try to take things from that can help you. You don't have to listen to all of it, but
listen to the truth there, and what's not true, just set that aside, right? That's not easy to do. Easier said than done.
It isn't.
So how do you guys react to criticism? We have a few options here. One is to humbly listen. All right. That's where we probably all want to be, but in reality, maybe we're not always there. We're working on that. Or maybe you get defensive. To be defensive means that you sort of make excuses for things. You're quick to protect yourself from being criticized. And that's really easy to do. If we're not careful, we'll go there automatically. So Linda, I think it's good to sort of decide what you're going to do in the situation before you get there. Because when you're in that situation, your defense mechanism may be to be defensive.
Yeah, that's usually our automatic response. That's how we act like as human beings. Like if someone, is saying something that we don't agree with or that criticizes us, we want to say something back. Yeah.
Absolutely. Or maybe you just ignore it. That can be good for some things if it's not relevant, if the criticism isn't correct. But if it's actually constructive feedback that's true, it's bad to ignore it.
Right. There might be something there that you haven't been able to acknowledge, and like we need to hear the truth and be able to accept it.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I personally struggle with criticism, right? But I think as we get older, hopefully we're getting wiser and we can learn to take a pause when someone says something we don't like and sort of listen to it and then give yourself time to think about it before you just get defensive.
Right, before you react. Yeah, so at least hear them out. Hear what they have to say, and then don't react immediately. Like, kind of ponder on it,
Right.
and then come up with a response.
Because at the end of the day, someone's opinion of us is not the most important thing in the world, right? Sometimes we hang on every word someone says. We put too much value on what someone says. In other cases, Linda, we should be listening and putting some value on it. So we can be at both ends of the spectrum, but we shouldn't add too much value to what they say, care too much, but we should listen to people.
Right. And we also have to, weigh it and see, what's positive, what's negative, and what should you get out of it. Also, it depends on where the criticism is coming from. Who is giving this criticism? That can really make a difference. So if it's coming from someone who you don't like, then it's going to be harder to listen to. But that's when you have to be more objective and, try to see is there truth in what this person is saying.
And maybe you are the person who needs to give that constructive feedback and think about how to say the truth in a loving way. That's important too, because we can say lots of things that are true, but it needs to be joined with love, right? And so that's important. It's a lot to think about. I really hope you have picked up your copy of Advance Magazine this month, because this story is probably my favorite, or one of my favorites this month, because we get to see the heart of this famous musician who's been all over the world.
Yes, he's very famous. You've probably heard of him,
Maybe.
or heard him or seen him on TV. But his voice is very popular.
All right, so that's about criticism. Let's take a look at our poll. Wow, we're evenly split, it looks like, or almost evenly split. A lot of you are saying, humbly listen, 31%. 23% get defensive, 23% ignore, and 23% other. I'd like to hear from some of you who put other. What is it that you do? Just go ahead and respond right now in the comment box. We would love to hear. And if any of you have any questions, we're here, right here, live. So go ahead and ask us any questions or give us your response about criticism if you'd like. Well, we learn a lot about Andrea Bocelli in our article, and one thing that we learn about is his talent. He's a really talented person, and so that brings us to our question of the week. I want to ask you guys, what's one talent you have, and how are you currently using it? All right, and some of you may be thinking, oh, I'm not currently using it. That's okay. It's just a gentle reminder that maybe perhaps you could think about doing that if you have time, because it's important to use our talents and gifts, right?
Yes. First, you need to assess and know what your talents are so that you can use them.
Are you trying to say I can't sing? I just feel like you're saying that. I don't know.
Not at all. You have many talents, Brandon.
Maybe singing is exactly one of them. Maybe sometimes, only at home. All right. So, what is a talent that you have, Linda? And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think I'm a really detailed person, and that comes in handy at this job.
Senior editor, right?
Because I'm an editor, so my job is to find. To put it,
find errors, right?
To find mistakes,
Such a fun
I'm actually good at that, it's not the best thing, but if it helps our magazine,
This is a funny thing because, if you're an editor, you do need to find mistakes, right? And so, but that can bleed into other areas of your life, and then it's not such a good thing. So you have to know when to turn the talent
off. We have that problem. Just in life, we go around and see things. Oh, no, that is the mistake. That is grammatically wrong, or that's a misspelling. Sometimes we have to turn it off so it doesn't drive us crazy.
It's okay, all right? All right, Alan says, take the truth part of people's criticism, even when they give it with the intention of attacking me, and use it to improve myself. It's difficult sometimes. Alan, that is very true and wise. Like, you're listening to the truth of what someone is saying, but you're ignoring the manner maybe in which what they're saying and how they're saying it. And you're also trying to separate that from who is telling you that. If you know maybe they don't mean well, but if it's true, it's good for us to listen to that. That's super difficult to do.
Yeah. I mean, you can still benefit from somebody maybe with the intention of attacking you, and that would be an excellent skill to have.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to the talent and gifts. We see that with Andrea Bocelli. I think of actually, Linda's answer was one I was thinking of beforehand. I'm also quite detail oriented. Not in every area of life. It's kind of funny. At work, I'm more detail oriented. When I leave work, I feel like I'm oblivious to lots of things. They could put a new store in down the street. I'm like, oh, that's a new store. And my wife might say, no, it's been there for 6 months. I'm like, oh, okay. To be fair, there are a lot of stores in the city, all right?
Yeah, so, things go up and down.
So being detail-oriented, I think, is something that, talent that I have, and I'm able to put that to use. I think that's an important part of this, Linda, is sometimes we have talents and we put them aside. Maybe you learn piano and you haven't played that for 4 or 5 years, and you think, oh, maybe I should pick that up again.
Yeah, that'd be good. Like maybe join a group, or if you go to church, join your worship team.
Absolutely,
you can
sing, right? That's wonderful. All right, Brian says, deep down, I know I should be humble with others' criticism, but sometimes I just can't help being defensive. Brian, I'm in the same boat. It's easy to be that way. I think it's important to call that out, and we're doing that right here. Like the fact that I struggle with that and you struggle with that, we can help each other out by knowing that, right? And I think the more we talk about these kinds of things, instead of sweeping them under the rug, it can be beneficial for all of us.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, we are all out of time. Be sure to take our poll really quickly. 29% say you're humbly listening, 29% you ignore it, and 21% for get defensive and other. If you're watching this later in the week, be sure to go ahead and leave your comments. We would love to read those, and we hope that you'll join us next Monday at 1 o'clock for our Advanced Weekly Update live stream. Thank you, Linda, for joining us today. Thank all of you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
See ya.